Three of the greatest players in the history of Australian cricket appearing in their first World Cup. Ricky Ponting is slotting in at number 3, while Shane Warne and Glenn McGrath had both come into the team shortly after the previous World Cup. Sri Lanka, with the typically powerful batting lineup, so comfortable on these pitches like the one in Lahore. The star was, of course, the little man, Aravinda de Silva, playing his third of his 5 World Cups. Sri Lanka won the toss and chose to field. The match was at Gaddafi Stadium.
We have Taylor and Mark Waugh about to face Vikramasinghe and Chaminda Vaas. Two bowlers who've done very well for Sri Lanka in this competition. Chaminda Vaas, I think, is very good. He's had a few sessions with Dennis Lillee, straightening out one or two things. That has benefited him, but he's a good natural pace bowler. And Mark Taylor will be facing the first ball. He's had quite a good series, India 59 and Zimbabwe 34, but not quite as good as the man at the other end, Mark Waugh. Mark Waugh missed out against West Indies in that very exciting game at Chandigarh. Tendulkar, Lara, Mark Waugh, they've been the 3 stars as far as the batting goes. And his career in limited overs internationals pushing up towards 4,000 runs. 130, 126, 110, and all of them very, very good innings. First ball of the World Cup final. Raja Vikramasinghe. He's a fast medium, I suppose. I've seen him bowl in quite sharp fashion out in Australia. Depends a little bit on the pitch, but I had the feeling when I had a look at the strip that there'd be a bit of pace and bounce there, a bit more than on some of the other pitches we've seen.
Sanat Jayasuriya just declared as the most valuable player of the WSzlbk World Cup, who won a car for his effort.
Just a reminder, this is a 50 overs a side match. Maximum of 10 overs for any one bowler. There was a threat of a delayed start today, but fortunately the rain has held off. It's just a little gloomy looking at the moment. That'll give us an idea of the pace of the outfield. The rope is in well away from the hoardings. Oh, that didn't look bad.
Well, a good effort, but perhaps Asanka Kurusina left it till the very end, wasn't able to get the ball back within the boundary. And Mark Taylor, who played so positively against the Indians and against Zimbabwe, once again playing a very, very positive shot. That foot right to the pitch of the ball, and the bat coming through very nicely.
Right hand, left hand combination poses problems for bowlers. Doesn't matter how good they are, they just have to change their line and sometimes their length as well. And these two have done the job, not just in these matches, but also in other matches for Australia. It's finding it a little bit disconcerting for the bowlers. 6 from that first over. Australia on their way. 6 for for no wicket, and it's going to be Shaminder Vas, well, the second over. He'll be bowling from umpire Shepherd's end. Imran Khan was saying, when he was talking with Ravi Shastri out in the centre, that he thought there'd be a bit of swing there. Well, if anyone's going to swing the ball, it'll be Shaminder Vas, who's turned in some excellent performances in this competition.
He's also used the angle to bowl across to the right-hander very well. Kept the batsman guessing.
And that's perfectly illustrated with that ball. He speared it across and had the batsman playing away through gully. They've always been difficult, these left-armers, over the wicket to right-handers. Some of them cut the ball away, some of them actually swing it away, which is difficult to do. But they certainly pose problems. Some batsmen of international standard have even had to change their batting styles to accommodate them.
And there is that natural outswinger that the left-hander bowls. That's the one that right-handers find more difficult to look out for, particularly if the bowler is angling the ball away. They have to think about whether to leave that ball or whether it will nip back in.
In the first 15 overs, only 2 men are allowed outside that fielding circle. And in this case, it's a man down at deep third man, another one at deep fine leg. Fairly wide, he's around about 45 degrees. And the man at deep third man is in the line of where a normal gully would be. And Taylor's in form with both the cover drive and the pull shot.
Well, Taylor's obviously got a hang of the wicket very quickly, because while the earlier over saw him play the drive, this time he's picked the bounce very early and pulled it away for a boundary. It's very important for batsmen to get a measure of the wicket very quickly. Taylor seems to have done that in 2 overs.
Take the single there, and that takes it along to 12 for no wicket. 2 overs gone. I think the 3 boundaries that have been hit, a very good indication that this could be a high-scoring game if the players play to their potential and to the way the pitch looks.
Yes, it does look like a very good batting wicket. The pace is there, and there's a lot of even bounce as well, and which will only mean that there's going to be a lot of hard work for the bowlers. They really won't get much help from this wicket, and if the batsman has to get out, it'll be only because he's over ambitious.
Not only does the outfield look fast and relatively unaffected by the rain, which is very heavy, at about 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock this morning. There's lightning coming through my window and a bit of thunder as well. Beautiful stroke. Played with delightful ease. Really only just helped it around. Didn't smash it.
Yes, he picked it up very early. He picked it up as the one that Shaminder Vas angles across to the right-hander, but it was the ball coming into the left-hander, and he just helped it along. Not too much of power in it, just a little bit of guidance as far as the direction is concerned. And it's another boundary to Mark Taylor. He really is batting with a lot more confidence than Mark Waugh is at the moment.
Oh, that's a good shot. Well, Taylor's in the mood, and it's now gone on to 31 for no wicket. 6 overs have gone through. I think he likes the pitch, that's the first thing. Good footwork. Footwork's been excellent. Again, that comes from a touch of confidence. They got 2 there, but it was almost only 1.5. Moore was on his way back on a perfectly straight line.
In the air and straight down Jayasuriya's throat. So that's a terrific breakthrough for Sri Lanka. Mark Waugh, as I mentioned before play started, if he bats for a reasonable amount of time, Australia are always going to set a big target. So that's a blow for Australia and a boost for Sri Lanka.
Yes, I think any early wicket's a good wicket, but this one in particular is a huge one for Sri Lanka. Very quick scoring batsman, elegant player Mark Waugh, and been in top form. So they'll think they've got the biggest wicket they could get. 36 for 1 Australia.
Ricky Ponting coming in at number 3 has 2 centuries to his name at this level. And one of them is against Sri Lanka, made at the MCG on the 9th of January this year. This is the 123 you see there. He came in, and Australia were, well, they weren't in great strife when he came in, but they lost a couple of wickets. He played extremely well. His other 100 was against the West Indies at Jaipur. Plays pace bowling very well, Ricky Ponting. Runs quickly. And he comes in at the fall of Mark Waugh's wicket. Mark Waugh looking at the pitch as he walked off, as though the ball didn't quite come on to him.
I just think it's one of those balls that you flip at and get there a little bit too early. When you do that, you tend to look at the pitch and blame anything but yourself, but I just think he got into that a little early and then just chipped it up in the air rather than waiting for the ball a little bit.
Well, it's been that sort of World Cup for this man, Jayasuriya. He seems to be the right man in the right place. And Chaminda Vaas asking the question. Umpire Shepherd says no.
Yes, I don't think there was any doubt about this. It moved off the seam. You see it pitching and going down leg side. Look where the keeper's going.
Aravinda De Silva coming around from mid-on. It's a better over from Vikramasinghe. It's 41 for 1. Excellent shot. Bit of width there. And Chaminda Vaas really punished.
Yeah, that's an easy ball to hit. It's so wide, he just threw everything at it. Pitches on, running across and bang. He's got to keep it fairly straight and tuck up the right-handers a little bit. Didn't time that particularly well, Ricky Ponting, but you could see from the type of stroke that anything with width, he just threw the bat at it. I still feel it's so important the spinners aren't out of the attack for too long. If the spinners can get it to turn, they'll be a vital factor for Sri Lanka.
That's beautifully hit. Just inside the rope. Lovely timing, and brings up the 50 for Australia.
Well, they're pleased, and they've every reason to be. Score at half century, scoring over 4 and over. The ball coming onto the bat quite easily, and just hits through that. And they're just in a nice comfort zone, are these two not-out batsmen.
That's why the man has been put back. Gurusingha, now he threatened, and it's cost Sri Lanka a run. Shouldn't be threatening from 70 metres, you should be throwing the ball in.
Yeah, not good that. He did a nice pick-up, one-handed, And then he forgot to let the ball go. Just trying to bluff the batsman. There he is, you see, took an extra step to get on balance, and it was all they needed. They sprinted for another run.
Well, that's gone. 6 it is, the first one of this World Cup final.
Well, this was short. Easy to hit, and he smacked it out of the ground. I mean, that was short of a length. I've no doubt in my mind they're going to have to bowl a spinner. That's halfway down the pitch. That they've got to change the tempo for the Australians. They've got seamers coming at either end, and they're just hitting through the ball when it's up, standing back and pulling it. And you've got to make them think a bit differently. You've got to get their top order off spinner into the game, I think.
Too short.
Well, it's so easy for the Australians. Flat pitch and good touch. Any shortness of length or width, the ball just sits up nicely to be belted. And there it is. It pitches outside off stump, got a little bit wider, probably half a yard, 2/3 of a yard too short, and he just smacked it. I don't think the bowlers will have to air too much in line or length on this pitch. Bowlers of either side, because it's a very good batting surface.
Nicely placed. Kiru's got a hand on it. That creates a long chase for Aravinda de Silva. Still gets to the boundary. It's 72 for 1.
Well, short of the length again. I think there are too many balls that he's short. Better off just pitching it up a little bit more and making the batsman drive you off the front foot.
Singer with the chase.
Well, he may be laughing, but I don't think the bowler would have been if they'd have got a third run. It was really sloppy fielding. Watch this. Dives down, can't get the ball in his hand. Ooh. It's a bit too wide, is that? Much too wide. I know it's spinning a little bit, but the batsman can easily go inside out. He'll give him too much width. Good running.
And just looking at those figures, the opener's quite expensive. A little bit loose, certainly. Chaminda Vaas was a bit short. And the spinners have just started. That's nice placement. He's hit it very wide. The mid-off fieldsman's having to run a long way around to pick that one up. Guru Singh, the fieldsman down there, and his throw, a long one to the far end. Mark Taylor just 2 runs away from 3,000 one-day international runs. He'll be the 7th Australian to achieve that feat. In the air, and that'll be it. It's running down towards the boundary. That's very well timed. A good shot. Into the fence it goes. Mark Taylor's looking in good form here. So it's the 50 partnership, and a milestone for Mark Taylor as well.
Well, he picked his spot here, Mark Taylor, but this is a superb piece of timing. Foot right to the pitch of the ball, and once he saw that the ball really wasn't there, went through with a shot, no half measures, and over mid-wicket for 4.
And that's his half century. So that's very well played. Under pressure, Mark Taylor, the captain, has come to the party. So Mark Taylor, a half century, 90 for 1. So Ricky Ponting having a little look around. There's a deep mid-wicket for him, a deep square leg, and a sweeper on the offside as well. He's been playing very straight. This will be close, just wide of the stumps. They needed a direct hit there. That makes the difference. If you can hit those stumps direct, you've got a chance of a run out when it's tight. Let's have another look at the replay.
Well, yeah, Ricky Ponting running with the shot, but what he didn't realize, the ball went too quickly to mid-on, and had that fielder hit the stumps, Ricky Ponting would have definitely been out.
Yes, it makes such a difference. Taylor has 53 or 54 balls, and that's well played, well fielded. Played away again to the right of the fieldsman. Mahanama is the man there. Good field.
Well, he's one of the best fielders in the Sri Lankan team, and this is the kind of fielding that can lift the spirits of the other players.
Not far from the fielder. He'd have got it wide had he let it go. As it is, he's picked up 2 runs. But from a stroke that was in the air a long time.
Well, it was such a bad ball and so wide that I think Mark Taylor had to really reach for it further than he expected, and so he scooped it in the air. Fortunately, it went in the gap.
This final being played in Lahore. As one of the host countries, Pakistan, sponsoring. And the pictures are brought to you by WorldTel and Grand Slam Sports. That placement. You'd got out your pen and pencil and a bit of paper and drawn the line. Couldn't have been better to split those 2 men.
Well, he's played beautifully all day. He's not had to show too much aggression because his timing and placement have been excellent. He's just played the ball basically where he's wanted all day.
It is a big ground. That's close. It doesn't seem to me that he's spinning the ball a great deal, but it seems to Ponting that he might have got an inside edge on it. And he was outside off stump. It was a quicker ball. He saw him coming, bowled it well, and then fumble to bring up the 100 partnership between Mark Taylor and Ricky Ponting.
Yes, when you keep getting an odd misfeel like that, it doesn't do the confidence of everybody in the team a lot of good. He's not the only one that's fumbled an easy ball.
It's in the air. And it's gone. He's got it. Taylor has gone. He's swept. And Jayasuriya has kept his head there running around and taken a very good catch. He had quite a distance to go. Picked it right from the moment it left Taylor's bat. And that's 2 down. 137 on the board.
Well, that's the sort of mistake that Sri Lanka needed. Change of bowling. A 4th spinner in the game. The top edge. Not too difficult catch, just had to keep his nerve while the ball was in the air, and they've got a little bit of luck. It's been a long time coming. Lovely innings by Mark Taylor, played beautifully in comfort. 137 for 2.
Steve Waugh, the new batsman, coming into the fall at Mark Taylor's wicket. De Silva to bowl. Ponting's the man taking a strike. And this is the way Mark Taylor perished.
Well, it's about the only false shot that Mark Taylor's played. He's been in such good touch, and it came as a big surprise. A little bit of an edge, half played for, and half a little bit of an edge, but it brings up 2 more runs for Australia. And you get the impression on this pitch that it's the batsman that's got to make a mistake. Not too many snakes in the pitch.
So once again, Jayasuriya was the man on the spot. He's taken 2 catches in this innings. And right throughout this World Cup, he's been in the game. He's thrown the stumps down a couple of times for run-outs, got catches, some wickets, but most importantly, he's got quick runs. He'll need them again here in Lahore if Sri Lanka are to win.
And that partnership between Kalivith Tharma and Jayasuriya has given Sri Lanka many a good start.
And he's bowled him. A little bit of turn there, so Aravinda De Silva doing exactly the job that his captain brought him on for. Get some wickets.
And Ricky Ponting, who's also played well, deceived by that one from Aravinda De Silva. How often we've seen in the limited overs game batsmen who are well set, trying to run the ball down to third man. And this time completely missing it. Ball turning a little bit, and look at Arvinda de Silva. No wonder he's happy, because he's got an important wicket. Australia 152 for 3.
Well, Mark Taylor is not a captain to let the game just roll along. He's always putting it to the opposition, seeing if the opposition are prepared to be flexible or change their tactics. So he sent in Shane Warne. 24 of 14 deliveries against New Zealand. Played an important role there as a pinch hitter. Just 4 men inside the circle for Warne. 3 out on the onside, 2 on the off. And the pinch hitter's getting cute now to get off the mark. It's 153 for 3. Aravinda de Silva picking up his 2nd wicket in that over. He got rid of Mark Taylor, and then Ricky Ponting attempting to play the little late cut. I think really the mistake that Ponting made there, he wasn't balanced when he played the shot. The shot could have been played, but he wasn't balanced. He was still on the move as he was trying to play the shot. And he's gone, I think. Very quick piece of work there from Kalu Witharana. He had him off quickly.
Well, that was bowled down the leg side. I think the Sri Lankans had it planned that in case Shane Warne does give the charge, they should bowl down the leg side, and there you are. Clearly the bat has not gone down. Super work there by Kalu Witharana. The Sri Lankans need to be given credit for planning it, although this time Shane Warne was playing a defensive shot. Australia 156 for 4. And the crowd certainly appreciating the work done by Kalu Witharana. The Sri Lankan flags there. We know that there's been a special charter flight which has come down. Very quick, very good work there by Kalu Witharana. Australia 156 for 4.
Well, the Australians just allowing Sri Lanka back into this game. 3 wickets falling fairly quickly. One of them a pinch hitter, Shane Warne. Stuart Law, who played such an important innings in the semi-final, really the man who got Australia here. He didn't get the Man of the Match award, but without Stuart Law's 72 there, Australia really could not have set the West Indies a target that would have mattered. And then Shane Warne's 4 wickets also wouldn't have done much. So an important innings from Stuart Law in that semi-final. Murali Dhiran, a good piece of bowling and well assisted by the wicket-keeper.
Well, there you are, Murali Dhiran just bowling a little bit down the leg side. I think it was more in anticipation of Shane Warne giving him the charge. They must have planned that, but Shane Warne didn't quite give him the charge. But he overbalanced, and Ramesh Kalu Witharana, anticipating, was right there and had the bails off in a flash.
Tilakaratne. These wickets have definitely given new life to the Sri Lankans in the field.
Yes, they're definitely throwing themselves at everything now. There is a tendency when the batsmen are going well for the heads to drop. The effort not quite there. But as soon as a couple of wickets fall, and particularly quickly, then the fielding immediately perks up.
That's a nice little touch there from Stuart Law. Well run, Steve Waugh getting back very quickly, although he's decided against the third. It's 163 for 4. Ball just flicking the pad of Stuart Law. Got into good position so that if he didn't get a bat on it, it did clip the pad. And Tilakaratne there getting away a quick throw, which caused Steve Waugh to send Stuart Law back. Dara Messina is on now at the college end and moving into the commentary position with me, Ranjit Fernando.
Sri Lanka have slowly but surely crawled back into this game through the courtesy of Arvinda De Silva, who has just completed a very useful spell. And with comparatively 2 new batsmen at the crease, Sri Lankans applying a great deal of pressure.
We keep talking about what is a manageable target. Ranjit, you've spent a lot of time with the Sri Lankans recently. What do you think that their expectations are?
Yes, I think they felt that they deserve another crack at Australia, since they felt that they should have had Australia probably in the Benson and Hedges final, and this probably is the glorious opportunity they've been given.
You've been watching them now for nearly a couple of hours. Early on, I thought there might have been signs, a little bit of tension out there. Do you feel they're pretty comfortable now?
Yes, and I think the Sri Lankans had developed a great deal of resilience during the last few months, and this certainly has come to the fore here. They've really come back from a rather tight situation and come back sneaking into the game.
In the air. And well taken, a well-judged catch. Aravinda De Silva, who's already taken 2 wickets, now takes a good catch.
That's certainly a great blow for Sri Lanka. The top edge by Steve Waugh and Aravinda De Silva running across, taking a very good judged catch, keeping his eyes on the ball all the time and catching it to a nicety. Is he not delighted?
170 for 5. Well, this final has really come alive here in Lahore, Pakistan. Michael Bevan, the left-hander, at the crease. Came in to bat against the West Indies without much form, mainly because he hadn't had a lot of hits. Played well in that match. He'll need to play well again. There's a big wicket getting rid of Steve Waugh. He's been such a good player in all forms of cricket for Australia in that middle order. Michael Bevan, terrific record. And you see there that he didn't have to do much until that semi-final against the West Indies. He has with him Stuart Law, the man who also played well against the West Indies. And Arjuna Ranatunga going on the attack, has a slip in. That's good captaincy. And 4 men in, saving the single.
Two new men at the wicket. Sri Lanka certainly have their tails up, and Muralidharan now getting his act together. He's been getting the prodigious turn he's been reputed to have.
Bevan off the mark. And there's a good delivery from Dara Messina. Got rid of Steve Waugh, just catching the front edge. And that's a very well judged catch. Not so easy when you're on the full run to catch them. The eyes are just bobbing up and down a little bit. Aravinda De Silva didn't have enough time to get there and get set. That's a good catch. When you're running almost flat out, they're not easy.
Muralidharan certainly getting his line right now, and his confidence growing with the new batsman in.
Once again, the top spinner catching a leading edge. They've really come alive now, Sri Lanka.
Muralidharan mixing things up that time, the ball going straight through, drifting away from the bat.
Beautifully played square of the wicket. Good piece of fielding in the outfield there, restricting the batsman to only a couple. But that's the problems the Australians will face at the moment, is they've lost too many wickets, yet at the same time they have to keep the scoreboard moving. Oh, that's beautifully bowled.
He's having a good day, Kalavatarana. That brilliant stumping of Shane Warne down the leg side may well have been called a wide, but you can be stumped off a wide. Now, very quick again.
And that really is a fine take, because that ball spun pretty quickly. Never easy when it pitches around leg stump and the batsman covers you. Really was a good take. Loud shout for leg before, but that one pitched outside the leg stump. Only a single. Law coming back for the second. He'll have to hurry. No problem whatsoever there. Just 6 runs coming off that over. Australia 184 for 5.
That was a powerful throw coming in. There's 5 men on the onside. Aravinda de Silva coming from the pavilion end, and 3 of those men are in the outfield. One of them, I reckon, precisely where that ball might have gone.
That's beautifully played by Law in the gap on the offside. But again, good fielding there by Muralidharan. He is a good outfielder, very quick on his feet, and he's backed that up with a very good throw.
Finished up as a full toss, and safe for the single from the next ball.
So 8 overs remaining. That's 48 balls to go. Australia 189 for 5. Really, if they have to achieve their target of 250, they'll need a couple of good overs at this stage. Dharmasena in his last over to Law. And that's smashed away over square leg and over the boundary line. 6 runs. That was a full toss from Dharmasena, and Stuart Law quick to pounce on that.
It was a hell of a hit, because it clubbed it away just about perfectly square. Yep, nice strike.
Beautifully picked up by Law. In fact, it wasn't a full toss. I beg your pardon for that. Heaved over square leg. Now Stuart Law can put pressure on the bowler now, having picked up 6 runs of the first delivery. So really, if these 2 batsmen knock the ball around, there is 10 runs for the taking in this over. And it's funny what a couple of good overs can do. He'll have to hurry. An overthrow there from Roshan Mahanama, who is coming in quickly from cover, allowing the batsman to come back for a second run. So this really is a good over for Australia so far.
Very good cricket by Bevan. First of all, the little push on the offside, and then the quick turn. As soon as the ball went past, he was going to the non-striker's end.
Giving himself room as Bevan. Can't find the gap, only a single for him.
There's a little sequence going on down the far end of the ground with Steve Buckner and the bowler Dharmasena and Stuart Law, where the batsman and bowler collided. With Steve Buckner telling the batsman to get further out. Dharmasena didn't waste too many words, but what they were quite short and sharp.
Again, played away for a single to bring up the Australian 200. By far the best over Australia has had in a long time. 200 for 5 after 43. And he's gone. Stuart Law trying to hit Jayasuriya over the cover field, but managing to get an outside edge and straight to the hands of the fielder at backward point, Arvind de Silva. So yet another wicket gone. 202 for 6 Australia.
This is a big one for Sri Lanka. They've had a few big ones. 6 of them down now. And Stuart Law just aiming with a wristy stroke to take it away in the air. Quite deliberately hit there, but he didn't mean to hit it quite as fine as that. And it's now 202 for 6.
Well, with the Australians in real trouble at the moment at 202 for 6, to tell you more about it, it's going to be Tony Greig and with him Ian Chappell.
What a vital wicket that was, the last one. Australians have watched this delivery to Healy. Plays that away on the onside. He's a very good player in situations like this. He won't be affected. Yes, let's have another look at the wicket. Jayasuriya is the bowler, and of course that one just outside off stump. Stuart Law going for it. He gave it a bit of room actually. Thick outside edge and straight to gully. Aravinda in the way.
Yes, Aravinda is another one who always seems to be in the action in this World Cup. Just enough turn there from Jayasuriya.
It's nicely driven, but they've got a sweeper back, so just one. Hasn't just been a turnaround. The Australians looked as if they were coasting there for a while. They were 137 for 1.
As Jayasuriya just getting enough turn to catch the edge. And there's the reaction from the bowler on taking the wicket of Stuart Law.
Into the gap again, Healy. Straight away is scoring the runner ball, well fielded. Right alongside the bails. Australia 205 for 6. Ball him! He's got him! He's tossed that one up in the air. Healy has been done. Neck and crop. That was magnificent bowling. He tossed it up in the air. It spun a little bit, and Healy really was lost. He seemed to be wandering around trying to hit the ball down the ground, and it's knocked back the leg stump.
Well, they say about spinners, you've got to beat the batsman in the air before you can beat him off the pitch. And this is a classic example. Aravinda de Silva beat him with flight. That is the perfect off-spinner's dismissal. Healy is gone, and Australia are 205 for 7.
What a World Cup he's having. Now that it's got down to the important matches, his experience is definitely beginning to tell. 3 for 24 off 6.1 overs, an economy rate of 3.89. More importantly, he's got those wickets.
Paul Rifle, the new batsman. And when you look at that scorecard, Australia's scorecard, you see the names De Silva and Jayasuriya all over the scorecard. Catches and wickets, and they really have been right in the thick of things in this World Cup. Yes, this was a beautiful piece of bowling by Aravinda de Silva. New batsman in, tossed it up. Healy's eyes lit up, but that's beautifully bowled.
That's well stopped.
Yes, he's really come alive. Very good stumping from Kalu Udharana earlier on, and you can hear him talking a lot now. And the man we shouldn't forget is the skipper, Arjuna Ranatunga. Probably the 2 best skippers in the competition, as well as the 2 best sides meeting here in the final. The 2 best skippers, they've both been prepared to try things. Arjuna Ranatunga has tried a few things when his side was down and got them right back into the game.
Full toss, played away on the offside. The sweeper's coming around. They should get 2 here. Yes, and comfortably back for the second by Bevan. Oh, and he's nearly got him. He slipped, I think. Well, that is a very close call. We'll come back and have a look at that in a minute. It's 213 for 8.
Michael Bevan just trying to get this one away on the onside, I think, for a single. he took off for the run before he knew that the ball had got away from the keeper. Could have been terminal. This revival by Sri Lanka has certainly brought the crowd alive and brought them into the game. And called wide by umpire Buckmore. She weren't quite sure in the early stages who they were really supporting. I'm not sure yet we really know who the crowd are supporting, but I think they were a bit worried at one stage that the game was getting right away from Sri Lanka and we were going to see a no contest. And now they realise that this match is very much on.
That's beaten the outside edge. So 3 overs to go now, 217 for 7. In these batting conditions, one wouldn't have thought that's enough. As Ian Chappell pointed out, at one stage they looked as if they were going to get a huge score. He's had a go at this one down the ground, one bounce to Guru Singha, and his throw will come in quickly, so just one. Yes, I think they've decided now that it's wind-up time.
Bevan could be dangerous in these overs. He can be dangerous any time, but he's so fast he can get twos and maintain the strike, which will be important for Australia.
It's well played. Rifle getting that one away behind square, nicely into the gap. He'll come back for a comfortable 2. Yes, he's certainly no mug with the bat, Paul Rifle. Since he's been out there, he's timed it pretty well. And he certainly won't drop it short. He's over-pitching rather than under-pitching, which is not a bad idea. And once more, he's bowling it quite fast too, Jayasuriya.
Umpire Shepherd just doing a little hop there with the score on 222.
So one more, 223 for 7. There's a big gap straight down the ground. 3 men saving one on the onside there. If he hits it straight over that sign in the field, in the middle of the field, it'll go for 4. And those are the 2 outfieldsmen on the offside. Straight to mid-wicket and a fumble.
Australia won the World Cup final in 1987, as we see that fumble. That match was played at Eden Gardens, the final, Australia versus England. Australia batted first on that occasion. 253 they made off the 50 overs. And England fell 7 short.
They'll be looking for the second here. Bevan touchdown. Back he comes. He's very quick. He'll be home comfortably. Didn't even stretch.
Well, they picked their man. Fast bowler Wickramasinghe, not the best of fielders in the Sri Lankan side.
He's had a go at that one. It'll bounce down towards deep mid-wicket. And that time they'll settle for 1. So Bevan now gets a chance. Yes, he's really going to have a go now. I'm just trying to work out where I think he's going to hit this one. He loves playing it away on the onside for ones, but he might go straight down the ground. We saw him win a match for Australia, hitting the ball straight over low and straight over the top of the umpire's head. There's a bit of a gap for him there if he hits it nice and straight and flat. He's having a glance down towards square leg. He's got inside out that one, and that's well played. That's very well played. Inside out, and he's whacked that one away down towards deep extra cover. Did it go all the way? Don't think so. Just short of the fence at deep extra cover.
As he's very quick on his feet, Michael Bevan, and he times his moves extremely well. That one landing just a metre short. He doesn't give the bowler a real sign until it's too late for the bowler to do anything about it.
There we go, last over. Once again, giving it room. That's well played. He's hit that one away square. Will the fielder get to it? I don't think he will. That's very well played by Michael Bevan. backing away again, smashing it square on the offside. It looks as if that's where he fancies himself most. There are 3 men back on the leg side, so this is what he decided to do.
He really is the best batsman in one-day cricket when it comes to scoring runs in the late overs. He finds a way to reach the boundaries.
He's backed off again and tried to smash it away on the offside, but that is a better delivery right up there, followed him a little bit.
And they're telling the man at deep mid-off, Chaminda Vaas, stop the twos.
1-2, well bowled. It's away down to mid-on. Guru Singh coming in there. So what can Paul Rifle do now? It's going to go over his head. It's just bounced into this hard surface, and they've ended up settling for 1. So 2 balls to go now.
Jayasuriya just gritting his teeth there. I think he felt he was a little unlucky that one bounced over his head. He was desperate to keep Michael Bevan away from the strike in these last 2 deliveries. And they'll be keen to just let him get a 1 off this one.
Well, he's played a clever little shot there and well fielded. I think that is Vikramasinghe there, diving away to his right. That is very well done.
Well, fortunately he's a tall man. He was just able to dive and get an arm on it. It was very quick thinking from Michael Bevan. You could see a boundary coming up there. Whew, he just got a hand on it. Absolute desperation there from Vikramasinghe. That's a good effort.
So this is the last ball of the Australian innings. Rifle driving. They'll come back for the second. No, they won't. They're settling for 1. Arjuna's got it, and that's the end of that. So Australia 241 for 7, and I should think that Arjuna Ranatunga will be very happy with that when one considers the start made by the Australians. Yes, and so that's the Australian card with Rifle not out on 13 and Bevan on 36. The top scorer, Mark Taylor, played very well for his 74. Ponting also put together a pretty tidy 45. That was a good partnership between Mark Taylor and Ricky Ponting. But thereafter, wickets fell on quite a regular basis. Those are the bowling figures, and very tidy they are too. Vikramasinghe and Vaas didn't complete their overs, and initially they bowled a few shortish deliveries. They actually played away pretty well, but Muralidharan and Dharamasena, Jayasuriya and Aravinda De Silva, between the 3 of them, did very well indeed. 3 for 42, Aravinda. So 4.84 runs per over needed. The total that they'll have to get is 242. The lights are on, and we're even seeing some blue sky. This is going to be a fantastic evening here at Lahore, and we're all looking forward now to watching the Sri Lanka run chase.
Jayasuriya will be facing, and Glenn McGrath has been given the new ball by Mark Taylor. And McGrath had a bit of a slump in the middle of this World Cup, but he came back well in the semi-final. McGrath has picked up Kalu Witharana in Australia a couple of times after taking a hammering from him, and he did it by pitching right up there, bowling him Yorkers right from the start of the innings. Fairly orthodox field to start with. They have the 3rd man and the fine leg. Mark Taylor is at first slip, and then you have Mark Waugh in a short cover position. He's the 2nd catching man. So nothing out of the ordinary with the field placings to start with. I guess it's a matter of Mark Taylor just waiting to see how these 2 play. Fine leg, and that's very well run. Jayasuriya back quickly. Warren again, and it's slippery down there, and Jayasuriya takes advantage of it. Well done.
Well, that bit of a fumble by Shane Warne, it just looked when he got it in his hand that if he'd have thrown it straight, over the stumps, Jayasuriya would have been struggling, but it wasn't a very good throw. He made a bit of a fumble, but then he didn't make it better with a very accurate throw. Just had to fetch it a little bit, did Ian Healy.
Well, that's a good shot. Picked that up very quickly.
Well, it's just a short back lift, little bit of flip with the bottom hand over the top, and the ball races away. And a shortish back lift, clips it, and it carries a long way, miles over mid-wicket. Super shot.
One of the problems for the outfielders will be if the ball is getting damp because of dew, they'll have a lot of problems making accurate throws from the outfield. So that might be another thing that Mark Taylor will have to contend with. Eight runs off the first over. And Jayasuriya faced the first over. He got 8. Now it's Kalu with Arana's turn. Both of them were out in the first over of the semi-final against India. And I guess if you're working on percentages, and you're talking about a couple of good players here, not just a couple of hitters, if you're working on the percentages, you figure that if they've missed out, if they've both missed out last time round, there's a fair chance that one of them is going to succeed this time.
Put it this way, if I was third man, I'd be a bit nervous. It might be coming my way.
Be even more nervous if you felt that there's a bit of dew on the outfield and you know that the ball's going to be just that little bit more slippery when it gets to you at third man, and it's going to have a bit on it, Jeffrey.
I really think that he just could have an over or two. I don't think he needs to repeat what he did against India, going from the word go. He certainly doesn't want to get out, but I don't think they need to just go at it, bull at a gate, throw the bat at everything. Just pick the balls that you fancy.
That's the thing with Kalu, he fancies most of them.
Yeah, he was halfway going to have a go at that, and then he sort of changes his mind as it just swings a little bit off the pitch. Just sort of offered to go away. Where the ball sets off and then it swings, it's not going to finish up in the same place as where it set off. So you just want to see what's happening before you go whacking it over the top.
That's one that he really likes. Anything that's slightly short. Here's a run. Jayasuriya may have been caught out of his ground, but it's turned out to be a bonus for Australia, and they've got 3. Michael Bevan was quick in reacting.
Well, this is a nice little bit of luck for Sri Lanka. A mistimed shot, underside edge. Very quick feel in, half a chance. Caught somebody out. Yeah, he would have been out. That's lovely quick thinking. Just didn't hit the stumps and gave away runs.
And third man is quite wide. Oh, and he's going again. He could be dead here. Umpire Buckner is calling for the replay. He was back quickly, but gee whiz, that's taking it to the limits.
Well, it's dangerous that he ran, hoping the strength of McGrath's arm wasn't strong and wasn't accurate. A tall man, these fast bowlers have usually got good arms, and it's going to be tight whatever way. Oh. We need a better angle, I think. That's difficult for anybody to tell. Ooh.
I don't see how you can give them out from head on when they're that close.
If the third umpire can give that out, then he's a brave man. If he gives it out, all Australia will be delighted.
And he has given him out. Well, I wouldn't like to be hung on that evidence. But on the other side of the coin, it wasn't a very smart run. Sri Lanka 12 for 1. Asanka Gurusinghe is the number 3 batsman for Sri Lanka. Well, it's been a lively 10 balls so far. And inside edge, Gurusingha is off the mark in very fortunate circumstances.
He's a batsman who's well capable of doing it.
Michael Bevan. And he's almost picked up a couple of run-outs, Bevan. He's very quick.
Yes, Gurusingha, who's been run out thrice in this competition, once again having a very narrow escape.
This is a huge battle on at the moment. Well, that's in the air. This is going to be out. Yes, he's got him. That's out caught. He's gone for the pull shot. That's very well bowled. A short delivery, and it's been pulled away and caught just behind square.
Well, this is big trouble for Sri Lanka. Kaluwitharana is one of the players who normally gets them off to a flying start, but has looked uncomfortable out there today. This one hurrying on him, beating him a bit for pace, and in the end, Kaluwitharana managing to only scoop it in the air. The safe hands at square leg of Michael Bevan. So big blow for Sri Lanka, 23 for 2.
Well, Aravinda De Silva was the man who played the gem of the knock for the Sri Lankans in that semi-final. Can he do it again tonight? He's already had a pretty good day, and he's got heaps of experience. This will present a nice challenge for him now. He'll have to settle things down here, while at the same time making sure he maintains his normal game, which is a pretty aggressive game in any event. That's his performance so far. At 66 against India. A magnificent innings. And this is the big one. A little bit of swing here for Fleming. Oh, what a good shot to start with. Straight down the ground. He's hit that one away. Will it get to the fence? It'll be pretty close. Ward desperately diving over the rope there and pulling it back. That's very well fielded. Oh, what a good shot that was for starters.
A beautiful way to get off the mark for Aravinda De Silva. Ball pitched up by Fleming. And Aravinda in beautiful position, driving it straight down the ground, showing the bat makers label there.
Yes, the umpire's just wondering whether the fieldsman actually touched the rope. This is Stephen Waugh. Let's have a look. He touches the ball, pulls it back. No, I think that's fine. I think he just flicked it back and then hit the rope. That's very well done by Stephen Waugh. Oh, there's a mix-up here down the non-striker's end. Aravinda getting back. There's a fumble. Well, he wanted to run. Gurusingha said no on the missed field. Quite right, I think. And Aravinda had to go all the way back.
Well, this really would have been disaster for Sri Lanka had Aravinda De Silva been run out. As the ball was played to backward point, and the moment Law misfielded, Aravinda wanted a single, and really if that ball had hit direct, it was all over for Aravinda.
He's got that one away nice and fine. They want to again. Almost suicidal running out there at the moment. I think this final's getting to them.
That's right, Tony. There's absolutely no need for that at this stage. The runs are coming freely for Sri Lanka. They've already had one run out, that of Jayasuriya. And the Aussie fielding at the moment, very good.
That's nicely played. He's hit that one to the gap at mid-wicket. It's running away down to the boundary. Stephen Waugh's after it. Big roar from this crowd. Couple of metres short of the fence. Waugh goes down. Up he gets again. In comes the throw. Flat on the bounce. Right over the bails. That's well thrown. Very good shot too.
Very strong on anything pitched up on leg stump. There's Gurusingha. He moves across the stumps here, and really once the ball was in the slot, lovely piece of timing.
Just beginning to get a little damp on the surface. Oh, that's a good shot. He's whacked that away over the top of mid-on. One bounce and over the fence for 4. That was short. Onto the back foot, and Aravinda De Silva timed it beautifully. That is a lovely shot.
Well, that's one of his favourite shots. Very quick on anything that's pitched short. And Moment Fleming pitched this one short here. He's got into position so quickly that he manages to hit it over mid-on. Wideish mid-on, one bounce into the fence.
There's lots of timing in that one. Really made sure he middled it. Well, that's a youngster who may one day be playing in this big time. That hits the stumps. No touch on it. Yes, the atmosphere really building up here at Gaddafi Stadium in Lahore. Again, beautifully straight, back down the pitch, straight up the stumps. In fact, it hits the middle stump. You can't play much straighter than that. One leg stump that time. That's well played, right into the gap. Aravinda wants the second. Can he do it again for Sri Lanka? That 66 in Calcutta was superb. Well, they've got it worked out already. Slower one. He's hit that beautifully. That's a magnificent shot. That will take the pressure off a bit. A slower delivery. He waited for it and smashed it through the onside. Again, one leg stump. Again, that's whacked away, and that'll go for four. Yes, desperation down in the boundary there from McGrath. He'd gone a little square to try and cut off those lovely clip shots he's been playing. Full length dive by him. Didn't quite get there.
Well, this is poor bowling by Damien Fleming. He's got the field on the offside. Here again, straying onto leg stump. The man at square leg is really square. And once Aravinda got this fine, it was 4 runs all the way. Mark Taylor certainly won't be happy with Damien Fleming.
So I think he might have a rope burn when diving right over the top of that rope, just skidded over the top of it. Perhaps Shane Warne has been given the word by his captain. Coming in bowl a few overs. He's certainly loosening up furiously. He does a lot of that sort of loosening up these days. You can see they're stretching everything. He's blasted that through the offside field. That's a beautiful shot. Very little room to move in. Onto the back foot, and he's hit it straight into the gap for 4. That'll do his confidence no end of good.
Well, this is a lovely shot from Aravinda de Silva. He's picked up the length quickly, waited on it, and then got the placement through the offside. Look how late he plays it. Gets on top of it, and 4 runs moment it left the bat.
Oh, and he's hit that one through the field as well. That's a magnificent shot by Aravinda again. He's playing a little blinder of an innings. What good form he's in.
Well, this really is an interesting shot because this is over pitched by Warne, but Aravinda has stayed on that back foot, and in fact, when he makes contact, the weight is on the back foot. He opens the face of the blade and again gets the placement absolutely right. Not an easy shot to play.
$11 off his first over. Now 15.
Well, even sitting in the commentary box, one was aware of the way Shane Warne was gripping the ball. It was more over the seam with all the fingers rather than with the spinning finger which the leg spinner normally holds the ball with. And there certainly seems to be a problem with his fingers because he's just not getting the ball to drop in the right place.
That's the first one he's really let go.
Yes, you can see the fingers going over the seam. There you see the little tweak. But it was the quicker one.
A little bit high.
Shane Warne now certainly using the fingers. In the first over he was using more of the wrist, and Asanka Gurusena had really no clue as to the way the ball was going to turn into him. He was playing for the straight through.
That's a good shot for 4. He waited for that to be up and smashed it away down the ground. Good stroke, and drinks are coming onto the field with Sri Lanka 71 for 2, doing it well after 15.
Well, I've been saying about Asanka Gurusena being quite content to push and prod, but this time he's taken matters into his own hands, deciding to give ball rifle the charge. And when you do that, you've got to be very certain where you want to hit the ball. He'd made up his mind, he'd found the place, he hit it well, right in the middle.
Very close to the shot of the day or night, whichever way you like to look at it.
And one can understand that look from Paul Rifle, because that ball was really not a bad ball at all. It was short of a good length on the off stump, and most batsmen would have been quite happy to have played at it defensively. But Arvind De Silva is in such fine form.
Just placed that little bit wide of the man at short cover, and it's 4. Might have gone close to the fielder, but it went at a great pace. Timing is quite magnificent.
Well, this one was a half volley, but even half volleys need to be put away between the fielders, wide of the fielders. If there's a fielder on the boundary patrolling, and put there for just that eventuality. But Arvind De Silva leaning onto that shot very nicely.
It's in the air. Well, it was catchable. And it got through him. He's a good fielder and he's taken some splendid catches so far. But he reckons that it was lost in the lights. He made good ground to it and then couldn't get his hands where the ball was.
Gurusingha coming down to loft Mark Waugh, and the fielder losing it in the lights, and a bit of a bad miss.
Oh, that could have got him. Just getting a little bit carried away, trying to flick it away on the onside. Gurusingha's played 1 or 2 pretty loose shots. Yes, I think all you've got to do is wait for Mark Waugh. He bowls a few shortish deliveries. You can get hold of him. Have a look at this one. He's down the wicket a bit and gets himself into a bit of a tangle there, trying to close the face on it and whack it away to mid-on. All he had to do was hit it straight down the ground. So that's the scenario. 147 of 30 overs is what is required. And that's the all-important run rate. 4.9, so still under 5 and over required. Nothing much in the comparison. So Warne to Gurusingha. Well, he's hit that one down the ground. That's well played. A loose delivery, confidently onto the back foot, over the top of mid-on for 4.
Well, he's belted this ball because it's short. He's had time to wait for it to pitch and turn and pick his spot. He's not been picking one very well, but that's short, and he's onto it like a flash. Whenever it's pitched up, he's had difficulty, but not when it's down there.
Yes, that was confidently played. And Warne again, you can see he wasn't very happy with that delivery. He's slipping the flipper in a minute. Oh, he's hit that one down the ground as well. Another short delivery from Warne. This is unlike him at 6. That's a huge hit. I thought that was going to bounce 2 or 3 times. It just kept going and going. The Gurusingha's at his porridge.
Well, I thought he'd slightly mishit it. It was just going up in the air, but it went up in the air all right. He kept on going. He certainly likes it short. Not too good when it's pitched up, but he's belted that again. Gone a long way.
Have a look at that. That just kept coming. And watch Guru's face here. He just looked up again and it just kept sailing over the boundary. Oh, and another loose delivery, and that'll go. No, it won't. That's very well fielded. No ball called as well. Rifle really did very well to cut that one off. He came across that outfield. Looks to me to be pretty damp now. Gurusingha beginning to cut loose, giving Shane Warne a bit of hammer.
Yeah, you don't often see him bowl 2 balls short, then 1 wide down the leg side. 12 runs off 3 balls.
Oh, that's well bowled. That's a better delivery.
He's pitched up, that's what I'm talking about. He doesn't know which way it's going, this Gurusingha. But the pitch is so slow that if you bowl it short, it sits up and says whack me, and that's how he's hit the 4 and 6.
In his first or second over back in, he does a few things very well. He tends to bowl the outswinger. Don't think he's going to get much swing here, but he bowls a good variation of slower balls. Bowls the off cutter, leg cutter.
Yes, he gets his wickets actually with good balls as well, Tony. Not like Marco, or somebody will play a silly shot.
Isn't he playing well? 43 or 45. Oh, that's very well played. He's got that away fine. That'll go for 4. That was a bad delivery, but it had to be played well, and he played a beautiful little leg glide. The fieldsman down there wide, so 4 all the way. So he's got on to 49. He's done very well. 73 balls. And that's it. He's half century. Well, he had a few close calls early on, but Asanka Gurusinghe has made a half century here in the World Cup final when it really mattered. He's hit that in the air. This will be out caught. Yes, he's gone. Oh, he's dropped it. I don't believe it. Stuart Law's down there. That's got to be the World Cup gone. That was a straightforward lollipop catch. Have a look at this. I cannot believe that you can drop a straightforward catch like this. That was hit straight down his throat. These Sri Lankans have got to the Aussies. Well, that's a bit of a bottom edge. It's running away over this outfield quite quickly, and it'll go for 4 as well. Well, it wasn't a very good delivery either. That was quite short, and it was a bit of a bottom edge, but went away very quickly to the fence for 4. It's a slower one, bottom edge. In fact, it might have even been off the middle of the bat. Down to fine leg for 4. To take over in the commentary box now, it's going to be Ian Chappell, and with him is Ravi Shastri.
This is why Gurusinghe frustrates himself at times. He gets loose balls and doesn't put them away. Suddenly the pressure of the scoreboard not ticking over quickly enough builds up. And he's bowled him. So a real loss of concentration there from Gurusinghe, and that'll revive the Australians. Just what Sri Lanka didn't want.
Well, just what the doctor ordered as far as the Australians are concerned. Gurusinghe had asked for a fresh pair of gloves. Really losing concentration here, giving rifle the charge, making no contact and having his off-stump peg back. Big blow for Sri Lanka, 148 for 3.
Well, captain comes out to join vice-captain, so Sri Lanka couldn't ask for anything better than to have their 2 senior men at the crease when the game is really on the line. And he's off the mark with a boundary. He's got a very cool head, the captain. Let's see if he can keep it that way under World Cup final pressure.
Well, he got a lot of runs in the semi-final against India there. Again, opening the face of the blade at the very last minute. The man at third man is square, and he had absolutely no chance of stopping that. So that boundary would certainly ease the pressure on Ranatunga.
Neither captain will sit back for long and just let the game slip away from them. They both captains try and do something to haul the opposition back in. Excellent work. Ricky Ponting at square leg.
Well, this will be a good test of Warne's temperament. He's gone for a few runs in his first 5 overs.
Shane Warne, this is before he bowled his first delivery. He's bowling to Arjuna Ranatunga, and here is the psych job. Ranatunga has told the press that he believes there's a fair amount of hype involved in Shane Warne's bowling. In fact, I should put it correctly. That was the message that was passed to Shane Warne. The press came with a quote. Now, whether they used the whole lot or not, but apparently part of the answer said that there was a bit of hype involved in Warne's bowling, and Shane Warne was aroused, let me tell you, by that quote, and he was giving Arjuna the long stare. And they should be looking for 2, and a collision with Shane Warne. There's 2 easily now on the misfield. The leg break. He'll be very lucky to get that one. Oh, Mark Waugh again. It's 156 for 3.
6 runs from the last 3 overs, and Taylor now has 6 men inside the circle. He's giving Ranatunga the chance to hit straight down the ground if he wants. That's the flipper, but he's well forward. He's going straight on. That's the end of the over. It's 159 for 3 and 34 gone.
Well, it looks a very promising position for Sri Lanka, but that can change very quickly. So the game is still on for both teams at the moment.
Great piece of fielding at mid-on. Save 4. Another fumble. 5 off the over, which is just what Sri Lanka needed. 170 for 3 from 37.
Well, it wasn't a very convincing over for Sri Lanka, but they got 5 runs. This was a little bit of a fumble. Both sides had done this all day. For Australia, it's a little bit of a slippy ball with the dew.
Great stroke. They'll throw to Ranatunga's end wherever possible. De Silva is like lightning between the wickets. Mark Waugh is bowling, so they're trying to keep 2 of Shane Warne's overs for the end.
Didn't run very quickly, just 1.
Just looking at the Australian bowling figures at the moment, looks as though Rifle will bowl out his 10 from the college end where he is now, and then McGrath can finish with 3, and that'll take care of the 6 overs to be bowled at that college end. Then Taylor has a choice with Fleming and Warne. One of them will not bowl out his full 10 overs. They've got through 11 with those other 3 bowlers, the 2 Wars and Bevan. A nice stroke, beautifully placed. Tunga was, it wasn't quickening. Beautifully placed.
Well, this is a very deft touch shot. Didn't try to whack it out of the ground, just waited for it and played it very fine. Beautifully played.
This is the sort of over Sri Lanka needed. 2 twos from the first 2 balls played.
That's right, 4 off the over, and the ball's now gone into the outfield, quite wet. Mark Waugh having to towel it down and wipe it very carefully so he can grip it.
Five from the first 3 balls, so Sri Lanka are well on target for what they need there.
I think what they have to do though is try and get that run rate just down to 5. They don't want to keep it up near 6 or even at 6. 5.5, just get it down to 5s if they can. Most people will be aware how difficult it was for the West Indies to hit Shane Warne in the last overs. I don't think it'll be any easier for Sri Lanka, so they don't want to leave themselves too many to get when he's got a bowl at the death.
That's very well played. They'll need to play that short third man quite a bit finer. Wasn't a nick, it was a very, very good shot.
A really cute shot. Bit of class here. Wonderfully played. Lovely wrists. Let the ball come on. Waited and waited. Very smart work. First boundary for 8 overs. 10 off this over so far. Wonderfully played. Get after the weak bowler. Get after Mark Waugh, but don't give him your wicket. And they've done it to perfection this over so far. Two, misfield. Ooh, that's a big over for Sri Lanka. Really big over, taking a 191 for 3.
And that run rate has come back down to the 5 and over mark Geoffrey Boycott was talking about. Last ball very short from Mark Waugh. And now with these extra spin on the ball out there and the misfield, they picked up another run.
Well, if you're a Sri Lankan supporter, you'll be saying bat through De Silva, right through the innings, make 100, and they should get home. He is very much a key player. His captain's played a nice little innings, but De Silva is the key to bat right through. They will win if he bats right through.
Taylor's keeping himself in at slip alongside Healy. There was a chance there with that little stroke Ranatunga played so well off Mark Waugh in the last over. He tried against Rifle the previous over and played and missed.
Good bowling by Paul Rifle, just bowling about leg and middle, not giving the left-hander too much room. I think he's bowled very well, Paul Rifle. Very steady performer, underrated player.
Well, this is the over I was talking about, so far anyway. Just a single from the first 4 balls to make up for the last one where they took runs off Mark Waugh, 12 of them. Just out of reach, and they'll get runs for it. They might even get 3 if they move quickly enough.
Well, that was nearly but not quite. Very smart bowling by Paul Rifle, tucking up the left-hander on his legs, and it nearly paid off. Just being chipped over Ricky Ponting. Not too comfortable with the ball, tucking him up on his legs. It's a little nudge there, and it just got over. Yeah, well bowled. Nothing for a smart piece of bowling that over at the left-hander.
Four off that over, 195 for 3 in 41.
Well, the batsmen have just managed to get that scoreboard moving again. It's a bit of a nail-biter. Nobody's quite sure who's going to win. It looks pretty good for Sri Lanka. As I keep saying, if wickets go down, that could all change very, very quickly.
.47 needed from 54, so Sri Lanka still very much in the box seat. Come into the commentary seat, Tony Greig, and alongside him is Ranger Fernando.
Thank you, Richie. Yes, and Shane Warne, his captain, having a little chat there. Australia 184 for 5. Sri Lanka were 195 for 3 after that 41 over mark. Well, Ranger, you must be getting very excited about all this.
Yes, Tony, no doubt. This will be Sri Lanka's moment of glory. This is what probably winning the World Cup is what a lot of Sri Lankans have been fantasizing about all these years, and will that dream come true? This hinges on this pair, this experienced pair of Ranatunga and De Silva. They've run Sri Lanka cricket, or taken Sri Lanka cricket on its road to its success, and they, I'm sure, would be there at the finish.
So Shane Warne. That one's cut nicely away. They've got to sweep it back, so they get one. Yes, and I suppose it's a sweet revenge too. The Australians gave them a pretty tough tour down in Australia. They pretty well enjoy this.
Yes, certainly. I'm sure if they could defeat the Australians, Sri Lankans certainly are going to enjoy this. But looking at it from the positive point of view, I think that Australian tour did so much for the Sri Lankans to get to where they are.
Certainly gave them a bit of strength of character. Battlers. They did very, very well down there, they did. This is Warne again. It's well played again. It's played just backward of square. It'll be cut off. This crowd beginning to get involved now as they get closer and closer.
Aravinda De Silva, he's been playing so well. It's Lionel, the lone Sri Lankan supporter, being shouldered, and the Sri Lankans are just going raptures here. It's a tremendous atmosphere, this World Cup final.
Well, we've seen him run all around Australia supporting these guys. So that last single brought up the 50 partnership.
Aravinda De Silva and Ranatunga have been together on many Sri Lankan partnerships which really have brought them success. They're here together in this one too. It certainly is a good omen.
Ranatunga looking for one. De Silva not interested that time.
De Silva, what a fine innings this has been. He's a man for the great big occasion, and he's certainly obliged.
He's got that one through the field, although the sweeper will pick it up again. They'll get 2. So what will they be doing down in Colombo at the moment? All huddled around TV sets, no doubt. The parties will be starting.
I'm certain everyone must be behind or watching a TV set at some point, Tony. I don't think any work is being done there, or anyone would be in bed. That's 200 for 3, Sri Lanka in 253 balls.
A little top edge on that one, but there's no one behind square apart from the man on the boundary, so 1 more to the total. 1 for 40 his figures, and that's a beautiful shot. That's caressed through the offside field. He's played a few of those today. His innings in the semi-final, repeated here in the final, have been a pleasure to watch.
Played with throughout this World Cup, just caressing that one, letting the ball come into it and just leaning onto it, beating the infield. Beautiful position and picking the gaps with consummate ease.
And that's a beauty as well. What a shot. He's decided to finish this quickly. Aravinda De Silva is playing a gem of an innings. After all those years battling away, this is going to be the big prize for them.
What glorious batsmanship. Leaning onto it, letting the ball come into him and just giving the fielders absolutely no chance at all.
That was lovely timing and beautiful placement. Whacked away square on the leg side, all the way along the ground. There's a sweeper back there, so just one.
That's De Silva in all his glory. Absolutely brilliant batsmanship.
Well, they've got the feeling now, haven't they? They really are getting ready to celebrate this victory. Australia are going to have to pull something out of the bag, something extraordinary out of the bag. They're going to reverse this trend now. 31 runs of 44 balls.
He's hardly played a faulty stroke. Every ball hitting the meat of the bat, and he certainly is carrying a heavy one.
So that makes it a good one for Sri Lanka. 11 runs off that over, 212 for 3. And I think these two probably realise it too, and they're not going to take any chances.
Well, there's absolutely no reason to take chances. The runs are coming through now in the previous over, those boundaries. And now it's a time to allow a few dot balls without feeling the pressure.
Well, they've had their lows in the World Cup, Sri Lanka. Have a look at those matches from 75 to 92. 26 matches, lost 20. No result in 2, won only 4. That's good running, and then all of a sudden they come to the 1996 World Cup. And look at that. 5 matches, 5 wins. And of course 2 forfeits as well.
Well, everybody in the team has contributed, starting from the captain Ranatunga. He's got his team together, and there's been Kaluvikarna, Jayasuriya have given them those explosive starts. In middle order, Arvinda, Asanka, Gurusena, they played their part.
Oh, he's got that away, and it looked to me as if Warren should have caught that one. His head went up, he got a hand on it, and it's gone for 4. He hit it back at him pretty firmly. Warren normally very good off his own bowling. Let's have another look at this one.
The Australian fielding in this match has certainly been below par. The Australians normally catch anything in the air, and I think this perhaps is an accurate indication of the kind of day the Australians have had on the field. A pretty simple catch, hard hit, all right, but these are the kind of catches that Warren would take 9 times out of 10.
Yes, that was through him before he even realised it. Full toss in the air. This is going to be over the top. Yes, over the top for 6. He's smashed him away for 6. These Sri Lankans are giving the Aussies a real hiding. 223 for 3. Australia made 241, and they're now going to win this easy.
Well, the fielder had come in a few yards from the boundary ropes, and this is a difficult one to hit. The full toss above the waist. The one below the waist you can control, but the one coming above the waist is difficult to hit. But Ranatunga put everything into it, and it has sailed over that fielder at square leg for a 6.
Down the ground, it's in the air, over the top. It won't quite get down to the fence. McGraw hovering underneath it. They go back for 2, 13 runs off the over, and that's the end of Shane Warne. 225 for 3. And Glenn McGraw, who's got very tidy figures, is back into the attack now.
Well, McGraw will have to pull out something extraordinary to stop Sri Lanka from winning from this position. He's got 2 very well set Sri Lankan batsmen also with tremendous experience, and batsmen now with a fierce desire to take their team to a historic win.
He smashed that for 4 over the top of the infield, and into the fence it goes. Another 4 to Aravinda de Silva. 98 now.
Well, the Sri Lankans have known Aravinda can bat. They've also known that he's capable of chucking it all away. But this time he's played a calm, composed, very purposeful innings. And having seen that the fielders were brought into the circle, nobody to cover the square leg boundary, he's hit that uppishly but safely.
Watchfully played this time. That one just pushed back down the pitch at McGraw. Yes, this World Cup started in pretty ordinary fashion for the Sri Lankans. All the news that the Australians weren't going to go down there. They forfeited that match. Then the West Indies followed suit. They decided not to go down there as well. And then slowly but surely their campaign got underway, and it's ended up right here. Because of the forfeits, Sri Lanka were always going to get through to the quarterfinals. No idea they'd have got through anyhow. That takes him to 99.
What an innings this has been. He's played 2 crucial innings for Sri Lanka. The one in the semi-finals against India, when 2 wickets had gone in the first over.
Yes, Clive Lloyd scored 100 in a World Cup final. Over the top and just through the fingertips again. Well, they haven't quite managed to get those catches to hand. They've dropped a couple of dollies, and there have been a few that have gone through fingertips.
The luck not running with the Australians. Sri Lanka 232 for 3.
Oh, beautifully played. That's a great century. A great century made when the chips were down by a fantastic batsman. And that really does tell the story.
He has played as delicate a shot as one could imagine. Aravinda de Silva getting to that century with as fine a leg glance as one could hope to see. And what an innings this has been. Brilliant.
That didn't bounce very much. Kept low outside off stump and wide given. So they're almost there. What a fairy tale this is turning out to be. Just cannot stop these Sri Lankans. That's well fielded.
Have been a very determined lot. They have a pretty long batting lineup.
Straight back to the bowler. He's just thinking back to the road to the final. They got through without any trouble at all to the quarterfinals, where they gave England a thorough thrashing. They beat them by 5 wickets. That was obviously expected. And then, of course, they went again to Calcutta to play against India, and unfortunately, as a result of the behaviour of the Calcutta crowd, they won that match by default. Through the field, that'll go all the way too. A magnificent shot, all the way to the fence, through the covers. Well, they've taken that to 241 now for 3, so the scores are level. They need one more run to win this World Cup. A little chat between the two most experienced players. This is a great moment in their lives. They've come such a long way in such a short period of time, and here they are now taking away the ultimate one-day trophy. And they've done it with plenty of time to spare. So the captain just checking his guard. One ball could do this. The scores are level. So Glenn McGrath is coming round the wicket. All the Australians are in, saving one, bar the fine leg fieldsman. This is McGrath to Ranatunga.
Arjuna Ranatunga a few years ago was in some strife with the Sri Lankan Cricket Board authorities, but he's come back very well after that. And the celebrations already beginning. All the other Sri Lankan players out onto the boundary area.
That's it, all the way to the boundary for 4. What a victory for the Sri Lankans. A fantastic effort by them. Their players are charging out onto the ground. The Aussies shaking them by the hand. Little Murali Dharaman's arrived. What a year it's been for him. Distraught at one end of his season, and here he is now in the winning team. They've taken out the World Cup.
And what a moment. Sri Lanka, world cricket champions. It is a moment that they have been waiting for years, ever since they got test status. This is the moment that they have been waiting for. They have tremendous plans. They want to make Sri Lanka a test champion as well by the year 2000. And by winning the World Cup in a limited overs competition, they have taken the steps in the right direction.
So there we are, the Australians, having lost the toss, were asked to bat first. They had their 50 overs, 241 for 7, and the top score there by Mark Taylor. Played very well, good partnership with Ricky Ponting, and Stuart Law making 22. Michael Bevan also chipped in, not out 36 down the order. And unfortunately, one has to say that they looked as if they were going to score somewhere around about 300 and didn't quite make enough. Those are the bowling figures, and they look pretty good to me. The off-spinners doing very well there. Dharamasena, Jaya, Surya and De Silva all bowling very well, and Murali Dharaman as well, 1 for 31. So they could be very proud of their performance in the field. I think that's really what set this victory up, and really, when it came to batting, it really was a coast for them. They ended up with 245 for 3, and have a look at Aravinda De Silva. They're not out 107 following his brilliant 66 in the semi-final, and of course out there with Ranatunga as well on 47. The two of them not out, and they managed to get the required runs. From Australia's point of view, those are the figures. McGrath was very economical. Fleming was a little expensive early on, although he got a wicket. Warne couldn't get a wicket, went for 58. And Rifle got 1 for 49.